What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from RC Nightmare, and I thought I would go back because when we were really thinking about getting back into RC, I wanted to think about what the core bashers are. And in particular, when you look at the Traxxas line, I think there's really just two or three. It's the Slash 4x4 VXL, it's a Stampede 4x4 VXL, and the Rustler 4x4 VXL. And that may sound very similar as I continue to say 4x4 VXL, but that's because really, I know, I hear you in the comments. I feel you getting angry when I'm about to say this. But if you are at least a casual and you don't want to manicure a track and you don't want to slowly upgrade over time, because a lot of people like doing that. If you just want out of the box, I want to go rip it anywhere, backyard, in the snow, at the quarry, you want a 4x4 brushless setup. It doesn't have to be Traxxas, but 4x4, especially if you're going through grass or anything larger than that, you can get ripping in a two-wheel drive, but you got to have real short grass, manicured or concrete. So a 4x4 brushless setup is really the entry point. I try to tell people when they ask me, hey, what kind of RC should I get? And I say, well, what kind of budget do you have? If you're looking to spend $200, well, you're in the two-wheel drive zone there. Or maybe you're in like a Red Cat or a Hobby Wing RC. If you're in the Traxxas lineup, you're in the $300 to $400 to get 4x4 brushless. But the Rustler 4x4 VXL is, in my opinion, one of the funnest, most fun bashers out there. Now, the Slash 4x4 is an all-time great. I think all around, even to this day, although I haven't opened all the RCs behind me yet, in the 10th scale bashers, it's still the Stampede 4x4 VXL for me because it gets maximum air. It has a lot more travel in the suspension. But the Rustler VXL has different applications. It's slower, it's sturdier. You can do a lot more stuff with it. Now you have the wheels are, it's an open wheel design. So your wheels are a little more exposed and this kind of thing, but you have all the upgrades, right? Over the years, Traxxas added a low center of gravity chassis, which is on this. They added the self-righting technology, which you could call me a fuddy-duddy. Either just go pick up the dang thing or learn how to do it yourself. What I mean is that's rocking the forward, reverse, forward to get it flipped back over if it's upside down. Traxxas added this technology. I haven't got into it very deeply yet because we're just getting back into it. So I'll have a more in-depth review on their self-righting technology, but I gotta think it just blows compared to either doing it yourself or just getting off your rear end and going and picking it up. Now, this again has, with the low center of gravity chassis, it's 20 millimeters longer in the wheelbase. And so that is, that was a big upgrade when the Slash had it too. Once the Slash went low center of gravity, I don't know if I have a tech guy off camera or not that can confirm or deny this, but basically once you're in the Rustler 4x4 low center of gravity chassis versus the Slash 4x4 low center of gravity, you really have very little different. I think they're basically negligible. Yeah, the Slash might be have a little more suspension travel, but they're not that different once they're both doing that. The reason I wanted to unbox this is because I think it is one of the best entry points for a basher, especially for somebody who is new to the hobby, because we all know that part of the hobby is fixing your RCs. That's has always been the case. But that's why Traxxas has such a stranglehold on the market. First of all, parts availability. If you have a hobby shop, they probably have Traxxas parts in stock. The second of all is, in my opinion, and again, I'm no Traxxas fanboy. People accuse me of that, but I'm not. I just think out of the box, they're the most durable, best value for the dollar. And I think I would debate anybody over that. I've owned and ran basically every available RC car for the past 15 years or 10 years. And consistently Traxxas is always, look, you like HPI? Yes, HPI has some good stuff. But again, I'm just talking overall. Each brand has something that they're very good at. Kyosho with their buggies and things like that. But as far as like a perfect RC for a gift or a beginner, I like the 4x4 brushless. there are a lot of people out there that will talk about the two-wheel drive entry point, where it's definitely more affordable. You're in the $200 price range, which is already a lot of money for a toy. Okay, I get it. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people that are in RC are my age, or they have jobs and they're not little kids. Little kids like little kid RC cars. So when I say it's $300-400, I don't mean to discount that is expensive, but I just hate seeing people buy like a two-wheel drive brushed Rustler and be like, this is dumb. Like, that's because it is just so much better when you go to a brushless. It's like night and day. So if you like tinkering, or if you're on a budget, I think the two-wheel drive options are good. And there's a lot of, hey, you can always upgrade that two-wheel drive to a brushless down the road. You can always do a lot of things to make it more fast, make it more fun. And if you're into that, then, you don't really care what I have to say about it. But if you're not into upgrading, you're not into learning how to solder, you're not into upgrading it, I think you just save up and make sure at least you get something brushless. So here we have, one of the newest parts of these designs that I really like is the body clip mounts. It's just a click and that's it. And now you can take everything off much easier, as opposed to, back in the day, you have all these stupid, annoying body clips to have to deal with, where you're breaking your thumbnail, getting them underneath your thumbnail to get everything off. Now, if you look, essentially that was it. One, although I looked a little uncomfortable there, the top goes in. So there's a little unit that kind of pops out here. It goes in and then locks, just like a tonneau cover in a truck or something like that. Inside the Rustler 4x4 VXL, you will see nothing particularly new or exciting. You're gonna see the Traxxas Rustler 3500 brushless motor, which is rock solid, has been around, gosh, 10 years, 15 years at least. It's 3,500 kV, if I remember correctly. Everything here is waterproof. So one fun thing about the Traxxas stuff, and now other brands are getting better with their waterproof stuff, is that, if you've seen some of our old bashing videos, like if you particularly you look up our bashing videos for like the Stampede 4x4 VXL, we'll take that thing in a lake and it's 100% fine as long as you rinse it off afterwards. And that's one of the big advantages. Now this takes either a 2S or a 3S battery. So if you want maximum the 65 miles an hour, there's probably a different pinion gear in this tool set that you have to put in to reach the high speed. When you see it on the box and it says, 65 miles an hour or whatever it is, remember that you can get that, but you're gonna trade your low end. So you put a different pinion gear in and you'll have a higher speed, but you will lose a little bit of that, that off the line wheelie power. And it's just a trade-off like anything. And for me, it's more about like over time, you try it out. So this particular, and again, one thing I'll talk about too, I talk about the Lexan body kits a lot. Traxxas does the best. If you look at the full level of roll cage protection, this Lexan will last you. You're going to get like scratches and things and dents, but it's not like the old Lexans where you took it out for one session and the thing fell apart. They've spent the money to build this nice kind of roll cage, body cage in there to help make sure that lasts longer. Again, inside here, not a lot to talk about. Do you want to upgrade to big bore, better shocks? Sure, you could do that. But I don't think you ever need anything different than the Traxxas Rustler 3500. You got your waterproof receiver box here and everything that you kind of need, other than, unless you're going to be a real maniac and go to the Rustler 4x4 Ultimate, which puts in like $400 in upgrades, in everything else. But this is a awesome. You have a wheelie bar on here too, of course, on the back, for all those wheelies that you like to do. I'm not a big wheelie guy. I prefer to just bash. Something about the wheelies, like just scratching up everything, I don't like. But this, I think, is one of the best all-time entry-level bashers, right up with the Stampede 4x4 VXL, as well as the Slash 4x4 VXL. All of them are in the $350 to $450 price range, and you're gonna have a lot of fun. How do you pick between a short course truck and a stadium truck like this, or almost like a truggy kind of thing like this, it's kind of your personal preference. Both, they're all going to rip, they're all going to be fast, they're all going to jump. You know, this particular guy, you're a little bit lower to the ground, so if you're doing more dirt running and stuff like that, you know, the Rustler is a great option, or concrete, things like that. You go to the Slash or the Stampede, they're higher and higher yet, basically. So if you're more in the grass, tall grass, this kind of stuff, then you go to the, you know, the Slash or the Stampede VXL. But all three are excellent entry points into having a long time basher that you can keep. You can upgrade the shocks, you can upgrade this, you know, the carriers, the tires, all that stuff. You can upgrade it to your little heart's content, but it doesn't get it better than the entry point than any one of these three models. So that's the Rustler 4x4 VXL, ready to run from Traxxas. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to post them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe down below. It would mean a lot to me to help grow this channel and help work to get more people into this hobby. And we'll